Hello. Let me make a poll. Did you tell me something that you learned and like the video? Yes. Hmm. Okay. Rob, what's up, bro? How you doing? I'm gonna try to stay on here for 1 hour. Shopping with the old lady, bro. It's 9 o'clock. Oh well, no, for you it's what, 7 o'clock? Are the groceries for you or for her? Why did I put this green screen here? That was a total accident. I don't know how to get rid of it now. Okay. For her, are you paying like a true gentleman or are you making her pay? I don't know. Y'all are in Cali. I don't even know if you can. I don't know if you could pay for her groceries. California is too expensive, bro. Do, 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 do. Are you in the grocery store or are you sitting in the parking lot waiting on her to finish? Bagging groceries. She's paying. Bro, are you got headphones on or are you listening out loud? If you're listening out loud in the grocery store, that's crazy ratchet, bro. If you're listening to this with no headphones on, you're ghetto, bro. You paid for the whole weekend? What'd y'all do? I'm interested. I mean, I don't know. If you say I paid for the whole weekend, that implies that y'all like did some activities. Oh, okay, I went out to eat. That's what's up. I'm Steve. Hi, Steve. How are you doing? Shayla, what's up? Oh, my Shayla. She found a Honduran spot with some good food. What'd you eat, bro? I mean, like specifically, what did you order at the Honduran spot? Sean Harrison says hi. What's up? Royalty yeet. Why you eat me, bro? I don't deserve to be yeeted. Shayla, what it the fuck? What is '08 Barker Nuggets? I don't know what that means. Bought her a nice bouquet of flowers. That's what's up, bro. Sean Harrison says you're Sigma. I'm Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta. I'm everything, bro. Becky says hello. Hello, Becky. Sean, you subscribe. Salute. Salute to Sean Harrison. Sean Harrison. That's what you ate for dinner? But what's Barker Nuggets? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. Am I having a fun day? I don't know if fun is the word I would use to describe my day, but I guess so. Yeah, I'm alive, man. It's always a good day if you're alive. I don't know if it's fun, but I did stuff. I'm still alive. I went running, I worked out, I played soccer. Like, with the year that I had in 2024 to be doing any of that, it's a blessing, bro. So I'm alive. All right, Rob, peace, bro. Talk to you later. Now that Rob is gone, I got none of my regulars in the chat. Some of y'all are just gonna have to become regulars, man. Someone tell me something interesting. Do any of y'all read? I'm looking for some readers. We gotta stay positive nowadays. Hell yeah, always gotta be positive. If you don't have positivity, what do you have, you know? It's your mom's birthday. Happy birthday to your mom. How long have I been streaming for? If you're talking about like actually streaming tonight, I just got on like what, 6 minutes ago. If you're asking how long I've been streaming over time, I think I started doing live streams like last year or something like that. Can't remember. No, it's 2025. I think I started in 2023. Because I got tired of making actual videos, so I just decided to just interact with my subscribers this way. Nanelle says, what's interesting to me? Stories are interesting to me. You know, I like seeing how people's minds operate, you know, so I like hearing what is interesting to other people, you know. I think whatever I think is interesting is boring. I've discovered it and rediscovered it 100 times, so I'm more interested in hearing what other people have to say. But generally, I like reading, I like language, I like boxing, you know, typical boring stuff. When am I gonna stop streaming tonight? I'm gonna try to do at least an hour or so, sometime around 55-ish minutes from now. I usually try to do an hour minimum when I do stream. But you know, if the chat's interesting, I stay a little bit later. If the chat's boring, I get off a little earlier. That's not boring. It's all perspective, right? If it's something that you do all the time, it can become boring, or it can sound less interesting. Ew, got hair in my mouth. Ew. Linnell, what's interesting to you? Do, 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 do. And I am Steve. How old is your mom? Shout out to your mom. I should stream Granny 1? I don't know what that means, bro. I literally have no idea what that means. Should stream Granny 1. Never heard of it. Don't know what it is. It's a fun game. What platform? What console? Granny 1. I'm gonna look it up. Many YouTubers stream it. But what is it? Like, sell me on it. You're the Granny 1 salesman right now. You need to tell me, like, this is what it's about. This is why it's gonna be fun to stream. I don't even know how to stream a game, bro. That'll be something totally new for me. Law is interesting to me. I'm in school for it right now, but right now I'm doing homework, learning about the brain, memory. And what have you learned about the brain? Do you know what the method of loci is? You know what a memory castle is? You can play it on mobile, PC, computer. Oh, if I could play it on mobile, I'll do it, bro. I just have to figure out how to play something on mobile and stream it. The only game I play mobile is Call of Duty. So, and really, like, I'm hit or miss on Call of Duty mobile. Like, either I'm the greatest player you've ever seen, or I'm just complete trash. Like, sometimes I do gunfights, like 2-on-2. Hold on, I was sick last week, so I had to cough. Sometimes I do gunfights. And, bro, I'll throw an axe across the map and hit somebody and just smoke people, bro. And the next game, I'll just be getting done in, bro. And I'm just like, like, why can't I kill anybody? So, y'all would probably laugh at me if you saw that. Bayou hombre, what's up, bro? You just got back from PR, bro? I didn't get no invite? That's crazy. That's crazy, Barry. What part did you go to, bro? And did you go with your shorty or no? It's where you wake up in the house and Granny is wandering the house and looking for you. She has stuff all over the house. Just don't get caught. You know what? I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I will look it up. And if I can stop being a boomer and figure out how to stream it, I might do it. Because typically, what I try to do is I try to stream every Sunday, right? It's a day where I don't have much going on, and it's easier for me to stream on this day. But I have time in my day sometimes where I'm just playing games. If I could do two things at once, if I could just play and stream, I would do that. No, I don't. Homework now, psychology, where we learn about short-term, long-term memory, capacity, chunky, and duration. You should look up the method of loci. It's called a memory castle. That's the like slang name for the method of loci. Basically, if you attach things to physical places that you know, you can remember them better. I'm really into memory. I'm really into learning too, right? And so I've memorized a list of like 50 things. You could give me 50 items numbered 1 through 50. I could tell you the list 1 through 50. I could tell you the list 50 through 1. And if you say a number, I could tell you what the word is. And the reason that it's called the method of loci is because loci was a Greek storyteller. And one time, the castle that he told the stories in burned down, and he identified the bodies by where the people would sit. And because of that, people said, oh, like, you know, his memory was good because he knew this person sits here, this person sits here. So basically, I'll give you a short rundown on how you use your memory castle. You use a place that you know very well, like your house, right? You envision your front door as the first spot. And if there's a word you need to memorize, like, for instance, like, we'll just say the word is phone, right? You say, I'm gonna make it simple. I'll tell you the complicated version afterwards. You imagine your phone as animated as you want to in your mind. You imagine your phone at your front door. If the next spot is right inside of your door, the doormat or something like that, and the next word is, I don't know, like pillow. You imagine a pillow on top of your doormat. So anyways, you get through this list of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 things. All you have to do is walk through your house in your head, and you will see all of the items that you need to memorize. They will just pop up. You won't even have to think about it. San Juan. Honeymoon. Y'all got married, bro? Yeah. Look up the memory castle. So now I'm gonna tell you the complicated version. This is what you do when you So like I just told you, the simple way is you walk through your house, right? And you say like, okay, I'm at the front door. I got my phone at the front door. I see it. Oh, I'm at the doormat. I got a pillow there. So even right now, I don't have to think about it. Just literally, I just walk through my house. I see the stuff there. The complicated one, when you need to memorize the stuff out of order, you get a word that rhymes with the number. So I say one is gun. And if I need to remember my phone, then I imagine my phone holding a gun, right? And I'll say two is shoe. So I I still use the doormat as the place, but my pillow will be wearing shoes on the doormat. So then if you ask me something on the list, you say, okay, what number was pillow? I think about the pillow and I see it has shoes on. And I say, okay, my pillow got shoes on. Two is shoe. I say, oh, pillow's number 2 on the list. Same kind of thing. If you ask me what number 1 is, I think about number 1 and I'm like, oh, it's my front door. I see the phone with a gun. Oh, okay. Number 1 is my phone. Do I have any official videos? Yeah, my page is full of videos, bro. They're a little bit random though. Mario Diaz says you good. I'm good, bro. Are you good? I'm big chillin'. Giselle says yo. I don't know if that's an English yo, like yo, what's up, or if it's a Spanish yo. If you heard something and you were like, yo. Can I see other streams right now? No, I can't see other streams right now because I'm on my phone. February 1st, congratulations, bro. I'm happy for you, man. Marriage is beautiful, bro. That's good. That's good, bro. Hey, man, if y'all ever want to pop down to Killeen, Texas, bro, or like I said, if you're ever in the Austin area, Austin and San Antonio. I was in San Antonio this weekend. I went to another rodeo. If you ever anywhere near Austin, San Antonio, especially if you with your shorty, bro, hit me up. We call kick it. What time is it for me? It's 9:13. Giselle says yes. I'm guessing you're saying yes to, that was an English yo. That was an English yo. You were like, yo, 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 what's up? One second. Do 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 dum dum. Bro, I ain't never gonna be in Houston. Let me tell you that right now. That's too far for me, dog. Nah, but if I'm out there, I definitely holler at you for sure. I'm an hour ahead of you, so you're in, let me guess. Let me think. You're in a mountain region. You're in Arizona. What about conversation? Does the memory castle help you to recall conversations in detail? No. Not exactly. You would have to kind of sort that out. But what I would say is that I would say pretty much anyone that knows me well would say I have an amazing memory. But it's because I think it's because of stuff like the memory castle, right? It's because the more you work on something, the better you get at it, right? So you learn yourself and you learn what you have to do to keep stuff in your mind. I don't forget people's names because I make it a point to remember their names, right? So kind of like the same thing with the memory castle. When I meet people, I attach their names to their clothes, the place that we're at, all kinds of stuff so that I won't forget it. I make it a point to remember. Most people, they're just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this person again. I'm not going to remember their name. You see them again and you're just like, oh, I'm sure I'll eventually remember their name. And you will eventually, but you know, that third or fourth time you see someone and you can't remember their name, that can put a bad taste in their mouth. You know what I mean? When people don't remember my name, I'm like, okay, well, clearly I'm not an important person to you. You know, so if I, especially if I know I'm gonna have contact with someone again, I'll make it a point to remember their name. Like your long term memory, for the most part, it's what's the word I'm looking for? I'll say it can be manipulated. Like you can put something into your long term memory. If you think it's important, it will stay in your long term memory. Um, it's just the majority of things that we come across in this day and age, we don't think it's important. And we have cell phones and we got the internet. So you're like, why would I memorize this person's phone number when I can just look it up in my phone? Back in the day, we used to know, bro, I used to know my whole family's phone numbers. I used to know all my friends' phone numbers. I knew their addresses. I knew everything because it was important to us. We're like, if I gotta call my friends, I need to know this number. Now, bro, I don't know anybody's number. I know my family's number because our phone numbers haven't changed in 15 years. Anyone that I've met in the last couple of years, I don't know their phone number because it's just not important to me. I'm just like it's in my phone, and if I lose it, I'll contact them on Instagram and say, "Hey, I lost your number. Can I get it?" But you know, back in the day, if you lose somebody's number, you might not be able to. How you gonna get in contact with them? You gotta go find a phone book and hope that they're in there and stuff like that. You know. You live in Montrose, Colorado. Colorado's mountain time? That's weird to think about. It must be only like half of the state that's mountain time. Or is it the whole state? No. Is it the whole state mountain time? I can't believe we have so many time zones. I live in Texas, and my name is Jalen. It's kind of in a valley. Hmm. Interesting. The only place I've been in Colorado are Colorado Springs and Denver. No, have I even been to Denver? I might have just made that up. Nah, I've been to Colorado Springs for sure. I don't remember if we traveled to Denver while I was there or if we were just planning to and we never actually did. But I know when I was in Colorado Springs, boy, that that altitude was crazy, bro. I was out of breath from doing nothing, just existing. I was out of breath. Linnell, you should look up the author is Jim Quick. I think the book's called Limitless. It's a good book. It's about learning. If you don't know, first tell me if you know who Jim Quick is. If you don't know who Jim Quick is, then I'll sell you on Jim Quick real quick, real quick. Um, Jim Quick is a very smart guy, but if you already know him, I don't need to explain. If you don't know him, then I will sell you. You heard that book before? Okay, I'm gonna just guess that you don't know Jim Quick. So Jim Quick is. Hold on, I need to cough. Okay. So Jim Quick was like diagnosed as I'm trying to think of a politically correct term. We're gonna say he's special. He was in special ed as a kid. And he was, he had a learning disability. They basically said that he would never be what was considered intelligent. And he spent a lot of his childhood and a lot of his life learning to learn. He would read stuff to learn better. Kind of like we're just talking about, right? We're trying to improve our memory. We're trying to improve the way we learn. So he did all that. And now he's considered like one of the smartest people in the world. And that book, Limitless, it's about learning. But he has a lot of podcast interviews and stuff like that. You can just type in Jim Quick, Jim space Kwik, I think. Type that in on YouTube, and you can listen to him talk. Very smart guy. But he's just walking proof that it's not necessarily something that's genetic. You can learn to learn better. Do I have any official videos? You asked me that already. I said I do. They're just random. They're just all kinds of stuff. What's my favorite book in the world, even in your childhood? Favorite of all time? Let me think. It's really tough, bro, because I read so many books. But I'm trying to think. It kind of depends if, like, maybe something that impacted me more or something like that. I would say if I just had to pick favorite, there was a book that I read when I was a really little kid. And it was called Bunnicula. It was like a vampire bunny. I know that's really childish, especially like with all the books that I read as an adult. But that was like such a unique story, and I never forgot it. Like sometimes I just randomly think about vampire bunnies. So I will put that at the top of my list. The Vampire's Assistant was pretty good too. Why did I read so many vampire books? I read the whole Harry Potter series when it first came out, like up to the first 4 books. I never read anything after that. I read the first Harry Potter book in one day, bro. It was like 300 something pages. It was crazy. Gossamer, I never read that one. Might have to check it out. What's it about? How do you find time to read? I have a 9 to 5 and never have time. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this without being condescending. I imagine you're an adult. You have a 9 to 5. There's time to do anything that you want. You have to make time to do it. You know what I do for myself. This is like the bare minimum that I do. I read before I go to bed, which is hard because it makes me sleepy, right? If I'm in the bed reading, bro, I get so sleepy. But what I'll say, like, and my wife knows this, I'll tell her, like, it's my reading time. Like, I'm about to read this chapter before I go to bed. I have to read this chapter before I go to bed. And I will. I'll read the chapter, go to sleep. That's like my bare minimum. On good days where I have more time or where I start reading earlier, I just extend it. I'll read the chapter and I say, okay, I'm not that sleepy. I still got time. I'll read 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters. And I kind of do it like that at the same time every night. So it's not like I can be like, oh, I forgot. Like, it's literally, if it's like 11 o'clock, I'm like, I'm about to be asleep. I'm not perfect. Obviously, sometimes I miss it, but for the most part, it's a nightly thing. And then, like I said, that's my bare minimum. If I get days where I'm at my job, like not doing shit, hopefully nobody from my job's on here. But if there's times at my job where I'm not doing anything, I'll just pull out my phone and read something. Like I said, there's time. It's like the same thing. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I have lots of people that are like, oh, I want to work out, but I don't have time to work out. I'm like, you have time. You might not have as much time as you want to, but we always have time to do stuff. It's about little invisible creatures that touch your stuff and brings back memories from the photos or objects, but they're about a half a centimeter tall. That sounds familiar, but I know I haven't read that book. You read fast, that's dope. I read fast. And reading as an adult, I feel like it's way tougher, especially like with all the advancements in technology and stuff. I just feel like my attention span isn't like it was when I was a kid. I would get lost in books as a kid. I could sit around and just literally read for like hours on hours. But now I have to like force myself to read in segments, or else I'll be like, okay, next 15 minutes I'm reading, and I'm not gonna read until the timer. I'm not gonna stop reading until the timer goes off. But like when I was a kid, I didn't have to do that. Like it was just a lot easier to focus and read. And that can be regained too. I made a video about that once, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Like when you first, if you stop reading, which I did, like sometime in college, I got like fed up with reading just because I was doing so much schoolwork, and I was like, man, I'm off this. But then I started reading again, like right when I graduated, and it was like I just couldn't. I would like read like half a page, and I would be thinking about other stuff while I was reading the words. And I would be like, what did I just read? Like I'll get to the bottom of the page, and I don't even know anything that I just read on the page, and I had to start the whole page over. And so it like took some work, but you can regain like your attention span, you know what I mean? So you kind of just have to, like I said, you have to put little things in place to say, okay, I'm gonna read for 5 minutes and I'm gonna focus on what I'm reading. Reading out loud helps because if you read in your head, like I said, you can be looking at the words and you're like telling yourself that you're reading it, but your mind is completely somewhere else. So one thing I started doing when I was getting back into reading is like I would literally treat myself like a little kid. I would read out loud and like put my fingers under the words. Like, yeah, sometimes I forget what I read. I would do it like that, like because I would have to focus on my finger and I had to focus on saying the words out loud. So it was like too difficult to think of something else while I was doing that. Until I kind of got back in the groove. Now I read like just in my head. But still, there's times where, you know, maybe you're having like a stressful day or something like that, and like you're reading and you're thinking about something that happened at work or something that's gonna happen the next day at work, you know what I mean? So but such is life. It's somewhat normal to forget what you read. Another thing I do is I summarize to myself um, what I just read. So you can either, like I said, depending on where you're at in your journey, if you just got back into reading, then you can tell yourself, I'm gonna summarize every paragraph I read. Or, you start going on, I'm gonna summarize every page I read. Right now, I usually do paragraphs. I usually do chapters at a time. So when I get done with a chapter, I summarize it to myself in, you know, in a few sentences. Just tell myself like, this is this character. This character's trying to do this. This is the trouble he's having, whatever. And if I can't summarize it, either I wasn't paying attention to what I was reading or it was difficult to understand, which is possible. It could just be a dense text, you know what I mean? You could just get through it and just like, actually, I really didn't understand that as much as I thought I did. And so then I'll just, cops have to go back and reread it, which I hate doing, but sometimes you have to. D, what's up, bro? So, summarizing what you read can help you. And if any of you are learning another language, that's a that's a good thing to do too. If you're learning another language and you're reading something in another language, try to summarize that text in the other language, and it'll tell you how much you really know what you're reading. It's really easy to read stuff and not absorb anything. I got away from reading like at one point in my life, like I was trying to read like, oh, I'm gonna read 100 books this year. I'm gonna read 75 books this year. I don't really do that anymore. I just have like certain books that I want to read. And my aim is to really absorb the stuff that I'm reading. You know what I mean? I want to be able to. The worst thing in the world is like if somebody's like, "Oh, you read that book? Like what? Like how was it? What was it about?" And you're just like, I don't really remember. Like you just like like I wasted like all that time reading and I don't even remember what the book's about. So I really try to absorb it. I really try to take away some new vocabulary from the book. I really try to just like actually learn from it. Like same thing with self-help books. If you read a self-help book and you don't do any of the things that it tells you to do, you don't take away anything from it and change your life, it's like, what did you really read it for? You know what I mean? Like, you just read it just to say that you read it. Like, people would say all of this shit, like, oh, 48 Laws of Power. I read that book. I'm like, are you using any of the laws? Like, are you just saying you read it to sound cool? What's up, D? Nah, nothing, man. Chilling, man. You ain't been active in the chat lately, bro. What up? You been missing, bro. Brandon, what's up, bro? I'm gonna make that boxing video tomorrow, bro. I was in San Antonio for a rodeo this weekend, so I drove back super late last night, and then I thought about making a video today, but I was outside running all day, and tomorrow I got the day off from work, so I'm gonna have some time to make it. Matter of fact, Brandon, if you besides Keyshawn, if you got certain fighters, whatever you want me to talk about, text me. Just text me a whole block, and I'll write it down, and I'll make sure I cover it in the video tomorrow. But yeah, man. I just saw somebody review a book on TikTok, and they really made me want to read it. It was called Babel by R.F. Kuang. I don't know the author. But based on his review, it made me look up other people's reviews. And everyone's like, this book is super challenging, but it's good. And they're like, sometimes you got to reread the pages to really understand, blah, blah, blah. So I said, ooh, I like that. I want to see. So I think I'm gonna check that out. You heard of the book Babel? Yeah, today was my first day hearing about it, man. But supposedly, it's a really good book. Really, really dense. You've been watching all the information. You've been watching and not participating, bro. Come on, dog. You need to be a participant, bro. You, Rob, y'all are my main question askers, bro. Y'all get the chat active. You been stopping at the middle of the book lately? I mean, I don't know why you're doing that specifically. I really don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest, man. Like, when I watch movies, I tend to finish them, even if they're trash. But with books, like bro, I'm not about to force my way through a book, bro. If it's not entertaining, if it's not getting my attention, I will move on to something else. I'll be mad that I paid the money, but I'm like, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But I'm not about to spend weeks reading a chapter at a time and just being like, oh, this book sucks, but I already started it. Like, nah, bro. If it was good, I'll probably want to finish it. Now, if you do think it's good, but you're stopping for other reasons, like I said, I'll probably maybe put some things in place to just keep you on track. Like, have a certain time every day that you read, and like I said, little time markers, maybe like just say like I'm about to read for 5 minutes no matter what. It's more so that I have so many other books I want to read. I'm a multi-book reader, so I read multiple books at a time, and I don't care what anybody says. Nobody can stop me. Stop in the middle book would have to be horrible. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've read some bad books, or at least I can say they were bad to me. You know what I mean? Like with movies, I'm like, okay, like they're setting up the plot and everything. They're making us get to know the characters. I'm okay with a slow start in a movie. But with a book, bro, like you got a couple chapters to hook me in. If you don't reel me in, bro, like I'm stopping. I'm stopping, bro. I'm not about to spend weeks reading some shit and hoping that it just gets better. Like, nah, bro. I've read too many books that are good from start to finish. You know what I mean? Now there are books that I have the expectation that it won't be crazy entertaining because it's nonfiction. You know what I mean? If I'm reading for information, I don't really expect it to be like entertaining in that sense. So I'm okay with it being like a tough read. But if I'm reading like fiction, bro, anything close to fiction, if it's not like straight up history, bro, I don't want to like struggle through the reading. I don't want to be sitting around like, oh God. I don't want to feel like I'm doing homework. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like a lot of classic text that I probably can't think of right now. But there's just like a lot of stuff that people say like, oh, this is a must read. Like you have to read this. And then, bro, I start reading that shit. Like Pride and Prejudice. I don't care what anybody says, bro. I'm never reading that shit, bro. There's a couple other ones like that too. Like it's like everyone reads them, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this, bro. I've done that too. I gotta go back to finish reading. I want to read more entertaining books. Yeah, like I said, depending on where you're at with reading, like one of the things I did, like when I got back into reading, I would intentionally read like basically only fiction, and I would read horror or I would read like something that you really want to know. Like, oh, I gotta know what happens next. Like I gotta know what happens next to try to get me to come back. You know what I mean? Like when you really get back into reading and you're doing it all the time, I think it's easier to read nonfiction or like really dense text where you're just like, okay, like this is tough, but it is what it is. But um, if you're just picking up reading or getting back into reading, I think you have to read like exciting things. You know what I mean? I guess to me, it's not. I guess that part is not that much different than movies. Like I'm a movie person. I like watching movies. So if a movie starts off like quote unquote boring, I'm okay because I'm like, oh yeah, like this is how some movies are, but they get better, whatever. But I know a lot of people that my wife. If the movie starts off, if it's not good in the beginning, bro, if it doesn't have like some exciting event in the beginning, she's checking out, bro. She's checking out, and I can't blame her because I'm just like, damn. Like I'm like, bro, we've been watching for like 30 minutes and like nothing is happening. But I know it's gonna get better. I got into a phase where I only read self-help books. Last year I made myself jump back into fiction. I think that's like somewhat normal. I did that too. Um, I don't remember exactly how old you are, but especially like I think for dudes in their 20s, like you get to this point, it doesn't have to be your 20s, it could be anywhere, but I'm just saying like a lot of times I feel like dudes in their 20s are like at this point where you're like this is make or break. Like I gotta figure life out. I gotta like get some stuff done. And so like you're trying to lock in and you're like, I'm gonna read these self-help books and motivate myself and figure stuff out and that too. I mean, even that, like you just get older and as a dude it feels weird reading fiction. You know what I mean? Just feels like something kids would do. It's not, but just kind of get made to feel that way. Like if you told someone you're reading a book, they probably just would expect that you were reading self-help or history book or something. If you're like, oh, I'm reading Harry Potter, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, bro? Aren't you 30? Like, but who cares? Like, I'll be reading whatever I want to read, bro. Whatever I want to read. That's cool that we're talking about books tonight. Sometimes the chat be on BS. I'd much rather talk about books than whatever the fuck we were talking about last time. Also, I mean, if y'all got any book recommendations that I haven't read, I would love to hear them. Well, D said he jumped back into fiction, so what's your fiction recommendation, bro? What are you currently reading, or what was the best thing you read recently? That reminds me too, Giselle is supposed to send me a book that she has not sent me, so I'm about to fire her up when I get off of the stream. You know, I just thought about Linnell. This is my first time seeing you in this stream. How'd you find this channel? Helping with Words, you too. How'd you find this channel? Sean Harrison's back. What's up, bud? Do I have any recommendations? I really hate recommending stuff without knowing what you already like. Cause even like, all right, I'll give you an example, bro. Sometimes I watch anime, but I'm not like an anime like nerd. Like I'm not an anime like weeb. You know what I mean? So like, they're like, oh, you want to watch anime? Watch this, watch this, watch this. And I'm like, nah, that's not really my type of thing. I'm like, you should have asked me what I like. If I tell them what I like, though, if I'm like, oh, I like Death and all, I like Attack on Titan. They're like, oh, you like these kind of animes. Watch this. I'm like, oh, that's what I need. How old am I? I'm 32, I think. Yes, Axel, I did just cough really loud. I muted the stream, and you just told them. The latest book I read was called Tell Me No Lies. What's that about? Helping with Words, Spanish videos. Oh, are you learning Spanish? You found me by scrolling on lives. Yeah, I said I think, bro. I swear to God, I don't be knowing how old I am, bro. Every time I say I think, I do the math in my head. I'm like, oh, I was born in '92. It's 2025. I'm like, and my birthday's coming up, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta be turning 33 in April. So Linnell, all right, riddle me this, answer me this, because I've seen that people scroll lives. I've never done that before. What are you looking for when you scroll lives? What makes you stick around in someone's live? Like, are you typing something, or do you just open up YouTube and like, I don't. Is there a live section? I don't even know. I've never even looked at. I don't know if I've ever watched someone's YouTube live before. Oh, you be watching my Spanish videos? Okay. Yeah, actually, it was crazy. My frequent cough is gone now, but I still got like, I think my lungs are just inflamed. So like every once in a while I take a deep breath and it like irritates them. So I'm like breathing really shallow right now. Social media stalker and some famous artists fake his death and run away, but they're running away from another stalker, a real stalker murderer. That's interesting. You can find live section, or you could just be scrolling and find live videos. Oh, okay. Now type in, there's a live section you can scroll. I stop if the person is interested. I try not to watch so much politics, which I've been doing. Yeah, we live in a tough time, man. It's good to be informed, but at the same time, I don't think as human beings we're meant to see so much conflict, so much trauma, just so much mess every day. So I try to keep my brain away from that stuff too. But then at some point I'm like, I feel so uninformed because I'm never watching it. If you start coughing a lot bad for days and weeks, you most likely have bronchitis. I've had bronchitis before. I had bronchitis in basic training in the military a long time ago. This definitely ain't bronchitis. I was sick, like, what's today, Sunday? I was sick on like Tuesday. I work with kids, so they get me sick a lot. So Tuesday I was like coughing, taking medicine and stuff. I didn't take any medicine today. So I was a couple of days I was taking medicine to try to suppress the cough. But yeah, you give real ass advice. I try my best, man. That's typically why I don't make that many videos though, because I always like anytime I think about making a video, I'm like, that's some weak ass advice. Like, so I just end up not doing it. I like have to wait till I think of something that I really think's helpful. I'm learning it in school. I'm taking political science with a concentration in public law. It's cool, but mentally draining. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's rough. Go live a lot. I try to do every Sunday. There was a point where I was doing 2 times a week, but I don't know. Then like right now, it's been every other Sunday. But I try to do every Sunday. Honestly, if people wanted me to, I would do more. But you know, I really just, like I said, Sunday's a day where I don't do much, so it's just easy to just pop up on a live stream. And I just chuckled at that comment. Where I'm from, the city that I'm from in Texas, go live used to, like, the phrase go live used to mean something dirty. So anytime somebody says go live, it just, like, sets my brain off to, like, when I was in high school. Yeah. People used to get called go livers. Sean Harrison, you're only 10, bro. Go to sleep. What are you doing? Go to sleep, bro. It is way past your bedtime. You got school tomorrow, bro? Let me see. What was that book D said? I need to screenshot that. Tell me no lies. Hold on. Got a screenshot. What the? How did I accidentally put a green screen on? Kids don't sleep no more? Clearly. Because Sean need to be in the bed. I'm trying to think. I mean, when I was that age, we didn't have phones, which sounds crazy. That just makes me sound so old. But we didn't have cell phones, so you could like get caught on your console, but that was just like that was too hard. Like you couldn't really get away with playing PlayStation like late at night. My mom would have known that we were playing. She would have whooped me. So we really just had to go to bed. If it was time to go to bed, you just went to bed. I feel like we had stuff like I'm trying to think what we had. There was times where my mom would walk in the room and I would hurry up and put the covers over my head and act like I was asleep. So I was definitely up messing with something, but we didn't have phones, so what was I doing? Oh, we had Game Boys and stuff. Okay. I was like, bro, I know we had something handheld. It'd be so loud turning on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you couldn't get away with the PlayStation. Yeah, PSP too. Yeah, I couldn't think of it in my head. I was like, what? But yeah, either way, we wasn't staying up that late. Like, my parents had good ears. My parents had good ears, and they would randomly pop up in the room too. It could, if it was like a night like this, my room door would just bust open, and I'd be like, "Yes." Door closed, and they walk away. Just, just checking. Used to love your Game Boy. It's crazy, man. That's like, I feel so far back. I can't even remember like what I was playing on Game Boy. I remember Pokemon, but there had to be other games, right? Like, what else were we playing on Game Boy? Looking back, I can only think of Pokemon. I can't really think of nothing else. What else? What other games you play on Game Boy? But yeah, when I look back at being a kid, man, being a kid was fun, but you really just don't know how stupid you are as a kid. Like I said, I work with kids now, and like all ages too, and they're all stupid. Like they think that they're good liars, and they're horrible liars. Like it's so easy to tell when a kid's lying. So now I look back and I'm just like, dang, all those times I thought I was tricking my parents, there's no way. There's no way. Nah, I never played Naruto on Game Boy. I didn't even know that was a game on Game Boy. Is Street Fighter on there? On Game Boy? I don't think so. I don't really know, to be honest. Like I said, I literally can't think of anything except Pokemon. Which makes me think that I couldn't have been playing the Game Boy that much, or else I would remember more. I definitely was playing PlayStation. But like something, I don't remember what happened. I think I didn't have a lot of time. Uh, like once I got into high school, because I was playing sports and doing all kinds of stuff. Because like I really just fell off of gaming consoles. Because like I used to really play, and then I just remember like by the time I got to college, people were like really good at Call of Duty. They were really good at all of these games, and I used to be like, oh no, I didn't even know there was a third one. I didn't know there was a second one. I didn't play the last two. I felt like that with like Madden, NCAA, all these games. I'm like, what? Like I didn't even know they had this feature. They're like, yeah, bro, you ain't played the last two. Vita's Prospector retracted their message. What did it say? Mario. I used to play Mario. But Super Mario is like a classic, bro. We couldn't play on the console unless friends was over. I don't know. My parents were strict, but they were nice too. If I was doing what I was supposed to be doing in school and stuff, they wouldn't bother me too much. But because they were so strict, I really didn't like. I always felt like I had to be doing something productive. You know what I mean? So I really didn't like sitting around playing the game because I'd be like, they're gonna come up in here and say I need to clean something or something. So what I that's probably why I was reading so much. Both of my parents were very okay with me reading and doing stuff like that, like being very productive. So if they saw me reading, they wouldn't mess with me. So I think I should be like, this is what I need to be doing. Or else I'm gonna have to go clean the kitchen or something. You are an old man, dog. What you mean? Sometimes I be thinking about how old I've gotten, and I'm like, that's crazy, bro. Like I just remember people that, like the age I am now, people used to tell me like, bro, man, 10 years from now, you gonna be out of high school, you gonna be blah blah blah. It goes by quick, man. Enjoy. I'll be like, man, shut your old ass up, bro. And now that's what I be wanting to tell the high schoolers I coach. I be wanting to be like, bro, these days don't last forever, bro. They really don't, bro. I enjoy getting old though. Like there's pros and cons, you know what I mean? Of course, like being young is good. Like physically it feels good. You could get away with more stuff. But being old feels nice. I just remember like a lot of stuff that I would say when I was younger, people would be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're 18. I could say the same stuff now and people will call me like wise or something. So that's cool. You know what I mean? You get a lot of experience from life. You figure stuff out. Like I said, I deal with a lot of kids, and I'm just like, yeah, you'll figure it out, bro. You gotta go through some stuff. It's nice to be on the other side of that, you know. So it's a blessing. Getting older is a blessing, man. I don't necessarily want to be old, but it's a blessing to get older. So, you know, like I said, the kids I be dealing with, they be trying to hurt my feelings and call me old and unk and all kinds of stuff. And I just be like, that shit don't hurt my feelings, bro. Like, I know how old I am. I'm okay with that. I've been your age. Motherfuckers be trying to hurt my feelings and then go get in the car with their mom. I'm like, bro, you gotta get picked up from the gym? Like, I hold up, now hold up. I ain't 33 yet. I'm 32, I think. Yeah. I'm 32. I'm 32. Nah, 30, 32, 33. It's not old. It's older than 18, you know what I'm saying? But in the grand scheme of things, it's not young. I mean, it's not old. When I was 18, I should think like I got a cousin who's probably in his 40s now. But he was like he was a basketball player and stuff, and I just remember he like turned 30 and I'm like, you done, bro. Like there ain't no way you could keep hooping. Like I just thought he was gonna fall apart. But now that I'm 32, I'm like, oh yeah, like you can still do whatever you want physically at this age. I mean, in fact, I'm like in some areas I'm stronger than I've ever been just because it's been 10 plus years of building strength, you know what I mean? So You're 25 and you feel old. Well, you just said it. It's all about how you feel. If you feel old, you gotta do some things that make you feel young again, man. There's a lot of stuff that you stop doing as you get older, and people blame it on their age, but it's obviously it's a byproduct of your age, but it's the fact that you don't do this stuff no more. You know, like people will really just never sprint, right? They never run full speed. And one day in their 30s, at a student teacher race or whatever, like they'll just take off running and pull their hamstrings. And they'll be like, yeah, I'm too old to be running full speed. Like, you're not too old to be running full speed. You haven't ran full speed in 15 years. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to think 25 was old and I have my life together too. I said a lot of stuff when I was 18 that looking back, I'm like, I don't know why I thought that was gonna happen. Helping with words, like I said, I'm not gonna be condescending because I know how it is. I've been there and I be there sometimes, but you can't let a job, you can't let your job take everything away from you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you still gotta live your life, man. You still gotta hit the gym. If you can't make time to go to a gym, start investing in a home gym, bro. I got equipment in my garage for the days that I don't feel like going to the gym. For instance, tomorrow's not a good example. We'll use today. Today, I don't work. The gym that I go to is by my job, which is like 30 minutes away. I'm like, I'm not driving over there, bro. So, what I got? 50-pound kettlebell. I got a little pull-up bar joint. They're called egg weights. So when you shadow box, you got weights in your hands. It makes it a lot tougher. Just little by little, every paycheck, I put more stuff in my garage so I could just work out at home, bro. So the days where my day is really full, because I have days where like I'm coaching the entire day and I really don't have time to go to the gym. What do? My wife's like, oh, we gonna eat dinner at 8. If I got home at 7, I say, oh, I'm about to hit my joint in the garage, like just until dinner time, bro. I just get a little quick 45 minutes and get an hour and something like that. You know what I mean? But obviously, like, I have my schedule planned out now to where I actually go to the gym. But for a while, I was just working out in the garage. Because, like I said, that's important to me. So I got to make sure I get it in. Reading, it's important to me. So I make sure I make time for it. You want a home gym? Yeah, just make it. And you'll be surprised, too. Like, people don't think about it. They'll just look for new equipment. You go on Facebook Marketplace, there's so many people that will give you their shit for free or next to nothing. Like, for example, like last year, bro, people got lucky, bro, because I was living in Colombia last year, right? When I moved back to the United States, same kind of thing. I had bought a shit ton of like dumbbells, exercise bands, boxing gloves, all kinds of stuff. But I wasn't trying to put that shit in my suitcase when I came back to the United States. I just put it in a trash bag and I gave it to my boy. And I'm like, yo, if you know somebody that needs weightlifting shoes, $200 weightlifting shoes. You know somebody needs these shoes? You know somebody needs that boxing gloves, dumbbells? You just give this shit to them, bro. So somebody came up. You know what I mean? Uh, and same thing here. Like, there's been a handful of times, like on Facebook Marketplace. I could go on Facebook Marketplace right now, bro. You'll see an assault bike that's supposed to be $600. Somebody's in the army or something, and they're like, I'm moving next week. I gotta get rid of this week. Looking for $100, but I'll go as low as 50. Yeah, 50's it's money, but otherwise you would have had to pay $600. So you know what I'm saying? You could come up off of $50. It's a good investment. Like I said, if you think about how much a gym costs, how much it costs to drive to the gym, you know what I mean? Even if you're only paying $30, $20 a month, which you might not be. You only paying $20 a month. You still paying what, close to $150 a year? You pay for that assault bike for $50, pay for a kettlebell for $20, $30, pay for some dumbbells. You really get more out of that than you would have for the gym anyways. You fell asleep. We were talking crazy about you while you were gone. That boy improving the world. Phil, you know what? Phil's a great example too. Phil has a job. Phil has 2 kids. And he still works out. He still runs. He still lives. Like, I ain't saying it's easy to make time for this stuff. I'm just saying you can make time for it. You really gotta. You really have to prioritize. It sounds simple, right? But you have to prioritize stuff that you care about. And you have to say, like, why do I want to do this? And you have to just realize why it's important. You know what I mean? If you got kids, you would never say like, "Oh, well, I work. I don't have time to feed my kids. Well, I don't have time to take my kids to school." It's like, nah, you have to. Straight up, you have to, and you have to figure it out. And that's how I feel about working out. That's how I feel about reading. Like, to me, my health is that important. The way somebody sees their kids, that's how I see myself and my physical health. I'm like, no, like the workout has to happen. Now, do I have to wake up earlier? Maybe. Do I have to? I don't know. It depends. It depends on what I need to do. For me, I don't have to wake up early, but there has been some times where I'm like, oh man, I gotta like, we got a game in the evening. I got this. I'm gonna be busy the whole day. For this day, I'm gonna have to wake up at 5 a.m. and work out because that's the only time I have to do it. On a normal day, I have it planned out, so I go at lunchtime or something like that. But sometimes you gotta wake up early. I ran 4 miles today and doing mobility now. If you want to achieve anything, you kind of have to get over the time factor. Either you do it or you don't. Facts. That's literally what I'm saying. Gonna wake up at, I don't know what time that's supposed to be at, but I imagine it's early to run 5 miles because I got Edison's football practice. Yeah, literally, what Phil just said is what I'm talking about. It's literally just, I have to do this. Like, if I have to wake up early and get a little bit less sleep, I'm gonna do that. Damn, at 5, bro, that's early. But yeah, like I said, usually the problem is that it's not up on your priority list because you haven't realized how important it is. Um, I'm not much of a salesman, so I don't do like a sales pitch when I talk to clients, but I really do just ask them like questions like is your health important to you? Do you want to be able to walk? Do you want to be able to play with your kids when they get older? Do you want to be able to play with your grandkids? Because I'm like, if you just ain't working out, if you ain't doing shit, I promise you, you're not going to be in good condition at 50, 60, 70 years old. You're not. And they say, like, oh, yeah, of course I want to play with my grandkids. Of course I want to do this. Of course. Okay. If that's that important to you, this is what you would have to do. You have to work out, bro. You have to. I ain't saying you got to work out for 2 hours. You don't got to be a bodybuilder. I think that's the other thing, too. Like, when people don't have a plan, when they don't know what they're doing, it seems like a way more daunting task. You know what I mean? Versus, like, I really get it in 45 minutes. Sometimes less. Sometimes more if I feel like really working out. If I go to the boxing gym, if I'm boxing and stuff, it's a longer workout. But if I'm in my home garage, bro, I'm talking 500 kettlebell swings with the 50-pound joint, minimal breaks. I'm getting it in, bro. I do some squats with the kettlebell first, do my 500 swings, crazy drenched in sweat, back tore up. Like I really work out and it's 45 minutes. I don't need to be working out for 2 hours and shit. Like everything's within reason. It depends on the situation. I'm not trying to make nationals, so I don't take lifting as serious. It's 6 days a week. I do 2 days a week to maintain the ability to lift. Pause. Damn, you just made me cough, bro. Yeah, I should have paused that. Diet can be complicated, but for a time period, you have to make it boring and predictable. Yeah, and I mean, the other thing too is like, I would put that in the same category as exercising. Like, people, they don't have a plan, they don't have a goal. They're just like, I need to eat better. And then that becomes a daunting task because you're just like, oh, fuck, I gotta eat carrots and raw fucking cow meat and shit like that. But it's really just like, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you just trying to, are you trying to hit a certain protein goal? Or are you trying to just, like, what are you trying to do? If you know what you're trying to do, you could start taking small steps towards that. You know what I mean? If you eat 3 bags of Doritos every day, we could say, why don't we take away one of these bags of Doritos and eat a banana, bro? And if you ask someone, can they do that? They say, oh, yeah, I could definitely do that. I don't need to eat 3 bags of chips. It's not that crazy. Why don't we take away one of those bags of Doritos and, you know, eat a handful of grapes? No, it's not that crazy. You start making those little changes, your whole diet will be different in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what I do for my online clients. Like, sometimes they hate that shit because they want to change so much stuff early. But I'm like, nah, bro. This is what we're going to do. We're going to change one thing this week. Just one thing. That's it. Do this well. And if it don't stress you out, we're going to change something again next week. I do that with exercise and I do that with food. That's why, like, same kind of thing. I just have clients that want to do so much physically. And I'm just like, okay, so when you break down and we're looking at the 11 new exercises you did, I can't even say this is what took you over the edge because you did 11 new things and you went from working out 1 day a week to 6 days a week. I don't know what was too much for you versus if we do one extra thing. Oh, you were only working out 1 day a week before? Let's do 2 next week. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Let's do 2 sessions. Let's not add that much. Let's start ramping it up over time, and if we go from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, okay, we add that 5th day in, we add this exercise in, you start hurting, this starts being off, we can say, okay, let's pull it back a little bit because you were doing great up until this point. You know what I'm saying? So people just have like all or nothing mentalities, which is not what you need. Whatever you're trying to do, you got a lifetime to do that shit, bro. Like, it doesn't all have to change in 2 weeks. You just got to start. If you look at it as a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year thing, you'll be like, yeah, okay, shit doesn't need to change in the next 2 weeks. I just need to start taking those steps. Because you can really accomplish a lot 6 months, 1 year, 2 years if you were consistently taking baby steps. Like Phil just said, baby steps. Like, if you really do that, and that's not even just like physical stuff, language learning, all of this stuff. If you were consistent, you would get to this peak. But what people do is like they do this and this and this and this, and like it puts them back at that 0 point at the end of a year, anyways. You know what I mean? People go hard as shit 2 months in the gym or something like that, and then I don't see them for 6 months, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I kind of got burnt out and hurt my knee because I was like squatting way too much and too frequently." And I'm like, so you put in 2 months of work, dipped out for 6 months. Now you're back for 2 months, probably gonna disappear after those 2 months. So in a year, you put in 4 or so months of work. Whereas like if you would have been consistent, you would have put in a whole year of work. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you would have done more work by doing less, but you feel like you're doing more when you do more. So that's a tough concept for people to grasp. And that's why those people need plans so that they can see the finish line. If you can see, you kind of just reverse engineer it. Like I said, whether it's language or whatever it is, like language, physical stuff, diet. It's like, this is what I want. Okay, what does it take to get what I want? Oh, it will take this amount of work, this amount of time. These are the blocks that make up that. And you just lay it out. This is day one. If you follow this plan, in 1 year, you'll be here. Too easy. Just follow the plan. You don't have to do no extra shit. Just follow the plan. Damn, it's 10:15. Oh, it's 10:17. What time should I get off? Gucci. 10:17, Bear Squad. I wonder what Gucci Mane's doing right now. I think Gucci Mane like be on YouTube like I wonder, do celebs be watching random people's YouTubes? Like, wouldn't it be crazy if Kendrick Lamar was just like watching this right now, just listening, not really doing nothing special, just like, never thought of it like that, and just going about his day. I feel like if I was a celebrity, I would still watch random TikToks and YouTubes and shit. He used to post a lot building up his label. Bro, everyone that signs his label gets killed. So I probably wouldn't sign. For real, dog. You ever seen, like, I don't even know if he has any artists left, bro. They literally all get killed. It's crazy. He might be putting hits out on them. Dog. I swear, bro, just Google, like, I don't know, just Google, like, all of Gucci Mane's artists die. I guarantee you, like, there's some kind of conspiracy theory. I've seen it. I've seen his artists die, like, 8+ times. I mean, to be fair, you know, he's, like, really from that. So I'm sure he only signs people that also came from that. You know what I mean? So it's not too surprising that they get killed. What's up, Vaughn? Recovery's good, man. I'm back, like, running and squatting and everything, bro. So just gotta take it day by day, week by week. You know what I mean? So it's going well, man. Thanks for asking. How you living, bro? How you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute. Man, bro, pop up on post. I think you said you can get on post, right? Come work out at the gym, bro. Stop going to Crunch. Bro, I can't go up in there. I was just going to help our boy, but it's way too crazy up in there. The post gym gets crazy sometimes too, but that's just because I literally go on the soldiers' lunch times. But if you go at any other time, it's chill, bro. It's super chill and It's a bunch of equipment, hella racks and stuff. I don't know if you saw the. I go to Warrior Way, and it has everything. It has a sled. It has bunch of squat racks, platforms, kettlebells, dumbbells. It's actually set up kind of similar to Crunch, actually. Warrior Way to go. Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's a pretty nice gym, man. Pretty nice gym. I don't have to pay. That's the best part. Yeah, Vaughn, that's what really threw me off. Like the 2 or 3 times that I went in there, there was like love drama up in there, bro. Girls crying and saying like, "Why is he in here with her?" And I'm like, "Bro, we're supposed to be working out up in here." On post, I mean, there's some couples up in there and stuff, but it's not like it don't seem like people, like you said, they're focused. It don't seem like they're up in there to try to meet people and be messy and stuff. That Crunch gym, bro. I never been in somewhere like that. Even when I worked at LA Fitness, it wasn't that crazy. Like that was like you said, it was like a dating app in real life, bro. It didn't feel like nobody was up in there trying to work out. Yeah, no, it was very crazy actually. It was insane. High school ass gym for real, bro. I mean, it makes sense though. It's clean, bro. It's about as clean as you can get right there. Vaughn, how's your Spanish going, dog? How far are you into it now? I can't remember when you started. I'm gonna get off at 10:30, y'all. By the way, it's about 7 more minutes. You're in the vocab phase, bro. If you ever, I don't know what your plan is, but like I said, if you ever need any help, any guidance, bro, I can tell you a lot of pitfalls to avoid. I don't know. I don't remember how you said you learned Japanese, but I imagine it was probably similar to the way that you need to learn Spanish. Um, you definitely need to talk. The goal is full fluency. Okay. Yeah, man. You need to talk as soon as possible, bro. Have a good night, Leno. If I hopefully see you again one time. Nice to meet you. Yeah, Vaughn. I would say the thing that most people do that doesn't work out well is they learn the words, like they learn vocab words separately from the context that they're in, right? So I'm just making shit up here, but let's just say you learn the word. Um, let's just say the word dependent, right? Usually, if you say the word dependent, you're like, oh, that's dependent on this, right? So people learn the word dependent and they don't learn that preposition that comes after it, which in some cases can completely change the meaning. But even if it doesn't change the meaning, it just sounds wrong if you're like, that's dependent behind this, or that's dependent in front of this. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you saying, bro? So that's a huge mistake that people make. You need to learn pretty much any verb that you learn will have a preposition attached to it. And if you don't know the preposition that's attached to it, you probably are saying it wrong. You personally do vocab, then shadowing, then speaking practice. Okay. I mean, as long as you make it to speaking. I mean, you have to, yeah, you have to learn vocab. You have to learn a certain amount of vocab to ever have a conversation. If you don't know any vocab, you can't have the conversation. So No, that's a good way to go about it. Like I said, just shadowing is definitely good. If you ever have any questions about the structure of things or whatever, just let me know, dog. That's all I do. So I'm gonna be on for 4 more minutes, y'all. Yeah, I'm excited to see whenever you finally. I'm assuming you'll finally post something in Spanish, so I'm excited to see it, bro. Bro, you would think that people know that it's mandatory, but for some reason, people have this idea in their head that they will just learn so much that when they finally choose to speak, it'll just be great. And I'm like, nope. You can watch all the Michael Jordan videos you want to, dog. You step on that court, you're gonna be trash. That's just how it works. You have to practice, bro. There's a mind to muscle connection. And you can understand so much stuff. Or at least think you understand it. And you know, I try not to argue with there's like heritage speakers. I try not to argue with them, like the kids that grow up around Spanish, but they can't speak. And they're like, I understand every single thing. I just can't speak. I'm like, bro, if you understood every single thing, you'll be able to speak. You don't understand every single thing. You understand basic stuff, which is fine. But they think they know a lot more than they do. Same thing as people that are learning. They just think like, oh, I heard this basic convo and I knew so much and I understood the context, so I'm doing really well. And I'm like, you are. You're doing well. But that's not to say that you're about to have a good conversation when you try. Yeah, output is a totally different skill, bro. I mean, you definitely need the input to get better at output. Like I said, you can't form a paragraph without hearing the words, you know what I mean, and having some kind of vocabulary. It's just like a little kid. Like we have to talk to them and they hear us and they say, okay, this means this, and then they start putting it together themselves. But kids talk all fucking day, bro. They don't stop talking. Which is why by the time they're 5, 6, 7, they can talk without even thinking. But adults are just afraid to do that when they learn a language. Like they just want to practice saying 10 sentences for 5 minutes a day and they think they're gonna get into a conversation and just it's gonna just roll off the tongue. Like, nah, dog. It takes reps on reps on reps. But, it's a lesson people have to learn themselves. Sometimes they never learn it. A lot of times it's easier for people to say, oh, that guy's just good with languages or whatever. I used to be like that. I used to see people speaking Spanish and just think like, oh, well, he's good at languages. Because I just couldn't figure it out. Once I figured it out, now people say that to me. And I'm like, bro, you have no idea. Yeah, bro. Thousands of reps, bro. And there's just so many different ways to say things too. I think that's another thing that throws people off too. Now, I'm not even just saying like, oh, this country says it this way, this country says it this way. Like, just a regular person. There's 10 different ways to say everything. You know what I mean? Um, and you have to practice that. You have to. It's gonna take you being in those situations and hearing someone ask you a question uh, for you to make that connection. Like I said, even in English, like could call it a cup, I could call it a glass, could call it a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? You might not call it a glass, but you would know if I call it a glass. And I said, can you pass me that glass right there? The thing that throws off people that are learning is like they just focus in on that one word cup And someone says, "Can you pass me that glass?" And they're like, "Glass? I thought glass was a window." And it's like, well, yeah, the cup's made out of glass, so you can call it a glass, bro. Do you think you should focus on one dialect? I think everything is situational, bro. I think, like, for example, like, I'll use myself as an example. All of my friends are Colombian or they're Puerto Rican. I personally am not going to spend my time listening to Spaniard Spanish. I'm just not going to. I don't know a single person from Spain, bro. I've watched a handful of shows from Spain. And to be honest, sometimes I don't be understanding what they're saying. I listen to Puerto Ricans. I listen to Colombians. That's just me. If you work around Mexicans, you might be better off listening to a lot of Mexicans. That's not to say you should only listen to them, but I just think it would probably be better for your life um, if you were focused on Mexican Spanish. You know what I mean? Like the way Mexicans and Puerto Ricans talk is different. You know, Puerto Ricans call a trash can zafacon. Mexicans don't call it that. So if you're talking like a Puerto Rican and you say blah 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 zafacon, they're gonna be like, "What's a zafacon?" You know what I mean? Like, so then to me, like the whole goal of your journey is probably to communicate well, to communicate with the people that you're talking to. I think if you're doing something that makes communicating harder, kind of doesn't make sense to me. That's just to me. What's up, Sean? So yeah, I would like I said, I would think about what you're trying to do, who you're surrounded by, where you live. If you got a goal of moving to a certain place, it might make sense to focus in on that. If you live in the southern hemisphere, to me, it makes sense to at least be listening to Latin American Spanish and not European Spanish because they're just totally different. The conjugations and everything. I remember the first time I heard someone say Sabacon. I remember the first time I didn't hear someone say that. But that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of little words like that. Like there's a bunch of things that Mexicans say that like because the times that I do talk to Mexicans, it's usually in a boxing gym. And I'm trying to think of a not disrespectful way to say this. Boxers aren't the smartest people, if you guys didn't know. So, uh, you know, the way that those people talk, it's a lot of slang. It's very uneducated. They're usually young, you know what I mean? Young people talk with more slang, they talk crazier. And so half the time I'm listening to like Mexicans in the boxing gym, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how can pedo, que pedo, wait? Pedo, pedo, pedo. I'm like, how can pedo mean 15 different things? Insane, bro. I'm mostly around Mexicans, but I want to learn paisa. Well, yeah, that's not. I probably wouldn't do that. I love paisa accent because I listen to Faye and Carol G. I mean, I get you, but for one, like to me, I don't know. When people learn an accent that they're not around, and when I say not around, I don't even mean like, oh, you're in the United States. You're not by Pisces. I just mean like, if you don't know any Pisces, if you're not consistently talking to Pisces, like your accent is gonna sound and feel super forced because all of the words and stuff that you learn are not gonna be from them. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, like for me, like literally everyone that I have contact with in Spanish is Puerto Rican or Colombian. So half of the like a lot of times I say words and I don't even know that they're purely Colombian words or purely Puerto Rican words. I won't know that. Sometimes I don't know that stuff until like I'm talking to somebody at work and they're like, "Is that what you call it?" And I'm like, "What do you call it?" And they're like this and I'm like, "Oh." I'm like now I'm thinking like am I saying the neutral word? Am I saying a Puerto Rican word? Am I saying a Colombian word? I don't know. I mean, I don't know where you live at. There's Colombians in the United States, but if you're not in Florida, New York, Texas, and even then, to me, Colombians, I don't know what it is. They're usually like in real like packed communities. I don't know if packed is the right word. I should say like tight communities. Like you can see Mexicans anywhere in Texas. It's like you won't run into a Colombian, and when you run into a Colombian, it's like this is where all the Colombians hang out. This is where they all live at. You don't pick the accent picks you. That's just the way it is. Same with dialect. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can pick it. Like it's like having a Texas accent, right? Like someone can watch a bunch of Texas videos. They can only practice saying stuff with some Texan accent that some Texan, right? Like somebody's watching Zero or some shit, and they're like, I'm gonna talk just like him, and they just listen to his videos and shadow him. You can do that. Like I said, the problem is just gonna be that like people that grew up in Texas, we're gonna be like, how you don't know this word? How you don't know this word? Like what the fuck? Like because because we'll know that you didn't like it. Like it's gonna sound forced to an extent because you're basically just listening to one person and you're not getting the full spectrum versus someone, that's like raised in Texas. You're hearing all of these Texas expressions. You're hearing all of these different people from Texas say different things, right? Seems like a cool dynamic. It's my first language of multiple dialects. Yeah, it can get weird, man. It can get really weird. The thing is, like, the really, really regional accents, they're, I'm not going to say unintelligible to other native speakers, but I will say, even to other native speakers, they will have trouble understanding it. Like, if somebody, like, let me I'll use Mexico. If someone's really from like some country ass part of Mexico and they've never traveled anywhere else, it's like I was just saying about Texas. You don't have to say neutral words, and you don't have to try to make the person you're talking to understand you because they're from Mexico. Like even if they're educated, they're still from Mexico and they're like, yeah, I know what all of this shit means. So someone from a country ass part of Colombia, if they talk to them, they're like, "What the fuck? What are you saying, bro? Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean?" Now if two educated people who travel a lot from both of those countries talk to each other, they probably, it's like if I talk to someone from New York, it's like, sure, we have a lot of different slang, but if we're talking business or something, like we'll be able to understand each other fine. You know what I mean? So that's usually what shocks people. It's that hold on, I got a call. They're listening to like news reports and shit like that, and then they go travel to the country and they talk to a real countryman, right? And they're like, "What? I don't understand this shit. I thought my Spanish was really good." It's like, yeah, you were listening to like the most neutral thing that you could, not, you know what I mean? You're not listening to the average person in a small town. It's totally different. But like I said, if you're a native speaker from that area, even if you're educated, like you'd be like, oh yeah, this dude has an accent, but it's very understandable. Sometimes like my Spanish speaking friends, they send me clips of like country ass dudes from Texas or Alabama or something, and they're like, there's no way these are real words. And I'm like, I mean, he has an accent, but he's like clearly talking. Like I think what was the last clip everyone was sending me? I had like 10 of my Spanish speaking friends send me a clip. It was like this, I don't know where he was from. It was this dude on a boat. And he's like, you can call me anything you want, but don't call me that. And they all send it to me. They're like, do people really talk like this? There's no way people talk like this. Is this real English? I don't understand it. And I'm like, yeah, like he's country. Don't get me wrong, he's country as hell. But like it wasn't difficult to understand. But if you're learning the language and you're like listening to the news and TV shows, you know, like sitcoms, they're actors. They communicate very clearly. People in real life, they just talk. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be talking with their mouth halfway closed like this, just talking, don't take no breaths, just keep on talking. Yeah, I went down there, motherfucker was down there, motherfucker tried to shoot me in my leg and shit, bro. Oh, I said I was getting off at 10:30. It's 10:41. All right, yeah, at 10:45, I'm closing the live, bro. I don't care what y'all say, bro. There's nothing you can do to stop me at 10:45. But yeah. Helping with words, the dialects are confusing. Like I said, it's as you get further along, it won't be confusing. You would have to hear something like for me to not understand somebody, they would have to talk crazy, like very crazy. I can't think of the last time I heard somebody talk and I just was like, damn, what are they saying? I heard some lady from like Chile the other day talking where I was like, she talks fast, but it wasn't not understandable. It was just like, damn, she talking fast. Nah, I'm not learning another language. I have no reason to. Canelo, bro, come on, man. I did see Crawford step on the scale like 2 days ago. My motherfucker was like 188 already. I was like, damn. But I still pick Canelo. Two more minutes. I'm not letting you distract me, Rolando. 10:45. Cutting it off. All right, Vaughn. Catch you later, bro. Appreciate you stopping in. Y'all got about 1 more minute. Say your last words. I got my finger hovering over the button because I'm not gonna let anybody trick me. What about using BJJ as an excuse to learn Portuguese? That was my excuse. I was gonna learn Portuguese because of BJJ, but obviously I had that surgery on both of my legs, so I won't be doing BJJ anytime soon. You might catch me before next week, bro. I might do another live stream this week. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? If you got any kind of videos you want me to do, like not live streams, just regular videos, let me know, bro. All right, I'm about to just end it right now because Rolando's gonna end up distracting me. He's good. I'm not gonna let him get me, so I'm just gonna end it right now. Catch y'all next time. Peace.